I'm here because I want an end to the hate, the disrespect, the lack of protection for Black women, and I want to see that cop locked up for life. I want him to serve life in prison without the opportunity of parole, just like all of the other murderers and criminals that do things like he did. And we have to reform the police.
What happened to Sonya Massey was devastating. It was a brutal assassination. On her knees, said sorry, and was gunned down. What happened to Sonya was a spiritual battle. It's what happens when the realities manifest into the demons in our society. When white supremacy is allowed to harness and manifest, it manifests itself in demonic nature. It was a brutal assassination. He said, "I will shoot you in your fucking face," and shot. He said, "There's no need for a med kit." It was a headshot. For me, what the world should see when watching that video is the demon of white supremacy, the demon of hate. What happened to Sonya is not about me, but it causes me to reflect on how I'm existing in space that's vulnerable to Black women. How am I contributing to the vulnerability of Black women as a Black man? Just because I'm Black doesn't give me a free pass. That's the reality. When I talk about Blackness and being Black, I also realize in reality the capacity for anti-Blackness is global. I realize that I live in a system and a society where they continue to show us that Black lives are expendable. It's not enough to organize and say Black Lives Matter and protect Black women. What you have to do is embrace it on a day-to-day basis. And it can be a challenge. It can be challenging. But that's what we're here for, to educate ourselves, to challenge ourselves, to create a new society, a new system, so there's no more Sandra Bland's, there's no more Sonya Massey's, there's no more George Floyd's.
I'm just here to do whatever I can to draw attention to what's been going on. This isn't the first time. It doesn't even seem like it might even be the last. But we need to do whatever we can to... It's like we're not being respected in these streets. It feels as though we're not even being considered first class citizens at all. And it feels like, yeah, all right, this guy, he's in jail, right? He's locked up. But we gotta start getting towards the root of the problem. All right, we're taking one step forward, that these guys actually are getting prosecuted now, right? But we need to get into the soil of this. So why is this even being allowed in the first place? Why did this officer feel like he had the authority or the right to even do this? Something that he's been taught in his mind had him feel like this was the right thing to do, and that's the problem.
Say her name! As a Palestinian, these past 10 months, it's been brutal. I can't tell you just the impact it's had on me physically, my mental health, and just the visceral pain of watching my people be brutalized in every single horrific way. There isn't a way that the Israeli terrorist forces have not murdered my people. Now, that being said, when I saw what happened to Sonya Massey, when I saw the assassination, I had an immediate visceral reaction. And the same pain that I experienced when watching my people get brutalized is the same pain I felt when I saw yet again a white supremacist police officer completely emboldened by a fucked up system that trains police officers in Israel. They are trained by the IOF. So we see very similar tactics used here that we see in occupied Palestine. And so the pain that I felt, again, seeing her assassinated in that way is the same pain pain that I feel watching my people be assassinated every single way. They are using the same tactics that are used abroad are being used here. This has to end. This has to end. Why are we still here? I don't understand. I don't know why the entire world is not raging about what happened to Sonya and her nephew and what happens to countless Black lives every single day in this country. And as a Palestinian, we take that personal because we are about collective liberation. When I say I'm Palestinian, it is not just about the liberation of Palestine. No. If you go to the Palestine right now, you look at that separation wall, they have a mural of George Floyd. For every Palestinian, we connect very profoundly with Black lives. And that is not to say, I just want to be very sensitive, that as a Palestinian living here, I understand even a speck of what Black people deal with in this country. That is not what I'm saying. What I am saying, though, is that I know what it means to be subjugated. I know what it means to be oppressed. And I know what it means to be exterminated by the very government and police force that is supposed to keep us safe.
Please, ladies, take a look at this crowd. Drink in the love, the support, the outrage for senseless violence against us. Breathe in the community that surrounds us and cares for us. We're not alone. And on days where it feels like the world wants us dead, in the moments where we feel pushed aside, invalidated, underestimated, return to this moment.
I want to start off by saying that it cannot be denied that Black people globally are some of the most disenfranchised and oppressed people in the world. It has been so for a very long history. Black people were specifically targeted and oppressed over centuries. For that reason, we must also be specific in redressing the injustice and specifically note that Black lives matter.
Hey, hey, ho, ho. These racist cops have got to go. Say her name. Sonya Massey. Say her name. Sonya Massey. Lives in Gaza are under attack. What do you do? Stand up, fight back. When lives in Haiti are under attack, what do you do? Stand up, fight back. When lives in Sudan are under attack, what do you do? Stand up, fight back. When Black lives are under attack, what do you do? Stand up, fight back. Out of your cars and into the streets. Out of your cars and into the streets. Out of the bars and into the streets. Out of the bars and into the streets. Out of the stores and into the streets. Out of the stores and into the streets. Out of the cars and into the streets. Out of the cars and into the streets. Brown lives, they matter here. Brown lives, they